Good morning and welcome to the live people, and welcome to those that are watching this as a video to the Medium channel, where we bring you the spirituality behind the message. And Happy New Year and Happy New Moon, everybody. So, today in tarot time, we're going to do a little talk about the tarot, a meditation card, a weekly forecast, an animal totem card, and finish up with an angel message. So that's the agenda for today. So, welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us. And I hope everybody had a happy, healthy, safe New Year's celebration. And we're at the very beginning of a new cycle, a very interesting year ahead for sure. So, you may, the live people may notice that I put up near the top of the live comment stream a link to the 2022 psychic predictions that I did here live on what was it, Thursday? It was the 30th of December. I think it was a Thursday. So if you haven't checked that out, very interesting things came up with that. So that's, and the other thing that I chatted here is that Heather Istara and I are going to do a new moon Zoom event where I'm going to do a transmission to bring through Archangel Raphael, and then Heather's going to do her healing transmission to help you build your virus shield as this Omicron variant starts to take hold and starts to affect a lot of people. So, in any event, just wanted to share a quick message before I jump right in. And I actually wrote, let me see, what did I write down here? You see, energies. Gosh, I need my glasses already. Yeah, okay. So I wrote down the energies this week are going to become very conducive to working together and to be working and organizing together in communities. And part of this is that Mercury actually just went into Aquarius, and the moon is in Capricorn. The moon is full, I mean new in Capricorn. I think it's at 1:30 this morning. And then the moon's going to move into Aquarius, and eventually when that happens, it'll line up with Mercury, and then Venus and Neptune sextile. So these are a lot of community aspects, and it helps to open up the heart. And that's been the message on the Medium channel, like from the inception, from day one. Vibrate from the heart, learn how to live from the heart, expand the heart frequency. And when you're in your heart, you're in your power, you're in your divinity, and you are stronger than governments. You're stronger than words. You're even stronger than bullets. Metaphorically speaking, obviously. And the idea is to really stand in your power, stand in your truth. And the reason I'm saying that you're stronger than bullets and all of that is because ultimately the heart's going to win out, because the whole universe vibrates at the same frequency as our hearts do in elevated emotions. This is starting to be proven now. So that's really the important thing, because there's a lot going on. There still are a lot of forces that are trying to tear things apart, to tear people apart, to divide and conquer, and to push through agendas that serve only a very small percentage of people and hurt a great many people. So a lot of people we're going to find in 2022 are going to be kind of moving off grid more, and are looking to be more self-sufficient and stuff like that. So every day, do some heart brain coherence. We have videos on that here on the Medium channel. There's also a fabulous site called heartmathinstitute.org. And Heart Math Institute has been studying the heart from a scientific as well as a spiritual perspective for 30 years now. And there's a lot of evidence, a lot of free information, a lot of good exercises and meditations. That's the message to start out 2022. Make this the year that you open and expand the heart. and then it becomes a good virus. It becomes infectious because then more people open their heart, because that's the nature of the heart. It's unity. When we vibrate in the heart, we vibrate in the quantum field, in the realm of spirit, and we connect with the other hearts, and that's how we build community. So when I was looking out over my ephemeris this morning, thinking about tarot time, that message came into my mind. And then I also happened to catch a video on a beautiful channel that I love called Inspired with Jean Nolan, and he had a very poignant message about the heart also, and about how warriorship really starts in the heart, which is true. True warriorship is about the heart, and that's where the ultimate power lies. So on that note, let's get started with some tarot time. I pulled this card out of the deck today. And one of the reasons is it's key one in the major arcana of the tarot. We're in the very beginning of a new year, so the number one denotes a new cycle. Now, the thing about the magician card, because it's early on in the fool's journey, I almost use the fool card, because the fool is really the true beginning. The fool card in the tarot is pure spirit. It's before manifestation. So in a sense, it in the tree of life, it's I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this right, but it's Ensof. It's represents the three layers of non-existence, or when the Big Bang just comes in out of the void. So the Fool card is really spirit before manifestation, and then the Magician is the first manifestation of the Fool's journey, or the spiritual journey, or the energetic journey of creation. So it can be about the ego, because we first identify with our individuality through our own egos, our own survival instincts, and our own recognitions of the separation. Because what happens is, when we're born out of the oneness and totality of spirit, and then we find ourselves in separate bodies and being separate entities. But we're never not attached to our source, and we're never not connected to that oneness or this wholeness. So this is also the planet Mercury. So it's about communication. But the magician creates. We learn that we have the power to create our reality, because we're doing that already. And the magician card's about the mind also. It's Mercury, it's air. And it's also can be relate to the cosmic trickster, because that's part of what Mercury is about also, being fooled, they're tricked into learning and growing. And there's going to be a lot of what I call tricknology. It's already there. It's already been prevalent since I've been alive, actually. And tricknology that comes in many different ways, shapes, and forms. There's a very ambiguous bill looking to be passed in the New York. I think it's in the House, not the Senate. Um, that would step up the mandates, and try to get people to conform to a what I feel is a pretty archaic and short-sighted methodology of dealing with the crisis at hand. Um, and again, I'm not against the medicines or the vaccines. I think they're a beautiful thing. I am against control, and I am against misinformation in order to fulfill an agenda of control. So if everybody was forthright about what was going on, and there were options, they may actually have gotten greater leverage in fulfilling their agendas. But I don't want to go too deep into that kind of stuff, because that's not what this is about. But it is something that's a current event. It's something that we're dealing with now, and there's a lot of trickery. There's a lot of and the bill is very. I read over the bill. It's like. And somebody was asking me if I thought it was going to pass, like it's a psychic prediction. And I answered her back. I said, my feelings about that are about as ambiguous as the spill itself. And I think it's going to either, it's going to be like one vote. I don't think it's going to pass or it's going to fly, or may pass the House and not the Senate, the state Senate or something like that. But anyway, we'll see what comes up with that. So the Magician card, when you tap into that, you tap into your ability to create your reality consciously, because you're either doing it consciously or you're doing it subconsciously. And if you're not consciously working to create your reality, then your subconscious programming is doing it for you. So the idea is we want to learn to program ourselves rather than allow society to program us. And society programs us with a specific agenda in mind, and that agenda is to control. So again, not big on conspiracy theories, but I do recognize true conspiracies. Now, when these conspiracy theories do get proven to be true conspiracies, then I'm all on board with it. But I don't want to really deal with conjecture. I want to deal with facts here. And the fact is that for hundreds of years, there's been small groups of individuals controlling large groups of individuals. With the coming together of the world through technology, there is an identifiable and validatable, whether you want to call it an elite, globalist or new world order, or whatever you want to call it. This is a reality, and this is a war on consciousness. As we're seeking to awaken, and we're naturally awakening, we have these forces that are really trying to suppress that, because then they lose the control, they lose the power. So the power is really in the heart. And when we expand in the heart and become coherent in the heart, we become coherent in the brain also. That's what heart brain coherency means. That's what it's about. And um, and then when we're coherent in the heart and the brain, we're also coherent with spirit, because the quantum field vibrates at the same frequency as the human heart and elevated emotions. A coherent heart feels compassion, feels gratitude, appreciation, and love. That's what hearts do. When you feel that in your heart is coherent. When you're feeling fear, suspicion, loathing, all those other emotions, and you come out of coherence in the heart, you're not coherent in the brain, and you're easy to control. So, heart brain coherence. Let's say this 3 times. No, I'm just kidding. So, moving right along, let's pull a meditation card now for us. And this would be what Spirit is suggesting. It is getting really dark outside. I think it's about to pour here in the Catskills. Okay. Mixing cards up. Okay, so clearing my mind, asking Spirit to lead me to the best card for this collective group, this community. That's people who are live, and people are going to watch this as a video later today or during the week. And this is the one I'm drawn to. This is interesting because, the Page of Swords is often about like swiftness, dexterity. Swords is also there. It's also of the mind, just like the Magician card. And so this is interesting that this came up as a meditation card. So the way to, and you know what, as I'm talking, I feel like Spirit is talking about, the Page of Swords, like being like our muses or our spirit guides, or almost like our conscious in a way. And I feel like there's a message, as well as I'll get into the meditation part in a second, but I feel like there's a message with that also. And really about just being in your heart, and being you're true to yourself, and in your own power, because he's the pages are young, but he has the sword. It's pointing upward. Swords represents truth. It can represent empowerment. It can represent warriorship. And it kind of sort of ready for battle, but not looking for battle. Basically, it's more to me like a message of preparedness, and to be prepared for swift changes, and stuff like that. But I feel like this is representing, our connection to spirit and our spirit guides. So the way to meditate with the card is, get nice and relaxed. You can either take a mental snapshot of this card from the Hanson Roberts deck. If you can see it, I can bring it a little closer. Or use your own deck. And then when you get nice and relaxed and open your heart, clear your mind, get present and breathe, it's almost like stepping through a doorway here, and then you see the whole scene, not just what's on the card, but the whole scene around the page. And you step in and see what you get. See how you feel, what feelings come up. Maybe you get images, messages, words, memories, and just sit with that. Because I feel like this is about ideas. I feel like it's a new year, it's a new beginning. I feel like I pulled this card because we have to think outside the box. That's part of the 2022. And I did these psychic predictions. I said that earlier in the stream, that we did that on Thursday night. The theme was, this is the year of collective healing and reveal. That was sort of the general theme of the discussion. And it's a new world. The economy is going to be changing. The way people think, the all that's changing. And a lot of people are really stuck in this box, like stuck in this old way of doing things, like how to make money, how all of that stuff. People are really locked into that, and this card is telling us we have to think outside of that. We have to connect with spirit, because there's a better way. And you know, unless you love your job, or you're doing what you love, which is at 76% of people, according to a recent survey, were said they'd rather be doing something besides working at their job, or something like that, which to me is a more of a politically correct way of saying that 3/4 of the people hate their jobs, basically. But they do it because they feel that they need to, because again, money can be empowerment, but money can also be control. So again, it's the difference is what's in the heart. Money can be a tool of empowerment, or money can be a tool of control. But it's the same money. It's energy. It's the same energy. It's the same money. It's what's in our own heart and our own belief systems. And in this world, there are so many ways of making money that are legal, that are ethical, that are serving humanity, that are serving your community. It does not have to be the way our parents did it. It does not have to be linear. So the idea is you step in, especially if you're one of those that's not really sure of what your path is in this new world at this time. This card and the guides around this card are going to help to open up some new ideas and some things you may not have even thought about, and your ultimate path, and your ultimate business, maybe, or profession, maybe become revealed this week. So definitely do that. So all right, next. Oh, you know what? I don't have my clipboard with me, so I'm gonna I knew I forgot something. All right. So if this is going to be different, I'm going to actually fan the cards rather than hold them on a clipboard. Oh, no, I'm looking around me. No, don't have them. Okay. By the way, swords can be very spontaneous, and the magician card can represent spontaneity also. Thinking on your feet. All right, so here we go. For the week ahead, any predictions or any heads ups or heads down, or let's just be clear headed. Clear heart, clear head, right? That's part of heart brain coherence. Be clear hearted, then we can be clear headed. All right, so I'm asking spirit to guide me to the best 3 cards. It's always dry fingers in the morning, especially when it's chilly. Um, wow, lots of queens. Oh, this is interesting. So here we go. This is my new technology for the new year of how to display the cards. So we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed, the Queen of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Very, very interesting. So one thing that jumps out with the queens, they represent water, and then the third card, even though the pentacles represents earth, there's water around us, around that. Waters of the emotions. A lot of the shall we say attacks against consciousness happen on an emotional level, because emotions are the energies in motion. So when we have an emotion, as Joe Dispenza says, that we, or not just Joe Dispenza, but anybody that understands this, is that emotions are of the body. So when we have an emotion, it's the glandular, secretions that happen. Fear, there's cortisol, and there's adrenaline, for example, stress and fear. So it's energy that affects the body, and then the brain kind of relates to the body, and the body relates to the brain. So what the body feels, the brain believes is reality. So if you're in a lot of fear from turning on the news, the brain believes there's danger, and it gears up for that danger, even though there may be no threat involved. Excuse me. I'm drinking tea this morning. I'm going for the hard stuff. Um, so the idea is, again, being that emotion of compassion and love, and anytime, and what's been coming up a lot with my clients doing readings, and what I've been seeing, themes on YouTube. There's a lot of people with anxiety, but not just anxiety, but panic attacks. Like one, actually two people in the space of 2 days were telling me that they get panic attacks by driving over a bridge recently and stuff like that. And again, emotions are very powerful, and if you're feeling anxiety, you can't just be like, okay, I'm not going to feel anxiety now. If it was me, that would just give me more anxiety, right? So we have to start to really understand the nature of emotions and how to start to change those patterns. And one of the things that you can do, and it's not going to really, I mean, it may or may not. I mean, it may not move the bar a lot if you're having a full-on panic attack, but if you can just do long, deep breathing, several times during the day, where you inhale love into your heart and feel your heart expand, and exhale and release energy and release anxiety. If you do that as a daily practice, it becomes a habit. Then over time, habits become programs, and then there's definitely ways to work through that, but I feel like a lot of this is emotional. Now I need to look at these for a second so I can get some feelings about it. Well, I like the Queen of Cups. I mean, the Queen of Cups is a little bit aloof. To me, this gives me a little bit of a feeling of being you're sort of separated or isolated, and being a little bit worried. It feels to me like the early week bark is going to be worse than the bite later in the week. And again, this may come down to the New York State legislation. A lot of the country is watching to see what happens here in New York, because hate to say it, but when it comes to corruption, our state is really becoming a trendsetter. And if you disagree with that, I apologize, but that's what I've been observing, anyways. And and then the Two of Pentacles, it's about choices. Different ideas, different ideologies, separation, stuff like that. But the Queens, that's obviously the feminine vibration. water, queens represent water, cups are water, pentacles are air. So this is all very feminine energy. And I feel like, again, it may not necessarily be that, that a lot happens on the surface of things. I think a lot's really bubbling under the surface. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of worry. There's a variant of the pandemic that's spreading very, very rapidly, and a lot of people are concerned about that. I mean, the idea is for us to really just kind of stay in our own power, stay in our own truth, stay in our own lane, so to speak, and 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 keep doing the work. Keep doing your spiritual work. Keep doing your breathing, meditation, heart brain coherence. Keep the body strong. I'm going to a week from Thursday. I'm going to come out with a video on some new breathing exercises that I touched on a live stream in December, but I've fine tuned them. So I'm going to share that with you, because the idea with the ascension that's happening, the energies keep increasing, and it changes our molecular structure, it changes our nervous systems, and we're actually just like going to a gym. When we work out, we tear the muscles down, but they rebuild stronger. So as we get new waves of like photons and neutrino waves, those are from the solar flares, where we had significant solar flares last week. And it's also like a spiritual light. Like the vibration keeps increasing, and it taxes our physical symptoms. A lot of people are think they may be getting COVID or a virus, and they're really getting like what they're starting to call an ascension flu. It's like the body just needs to repair itself, and we wind up getting symptoms of illness because of that. So so if you can really meditate and just relax and let go and just allow the energies to flow through you rather than resisting, and that happens through presence and breath and opening the heart and allowing and trusting. We live in a friendly universe, so trust it. um, and that's going to allow our bodies to regenerate and to strengthen and to shift from, we're actually shifting from having primitive bodies to having ascended bodies. So the mechanics of our cellular structures, our nervous systems, glandular systems are actually changing. We're actually changing as we're awakening, and as we're evolving as a species, and as the cosmic energy that affects all life keeps increasing. Also, just part of our life. We chose to be here to be teachers, way showers, and some of us are more going to be people of action. Others of us are going to be more behind the scenes, assisting consciousness that way. But the idea is, this to me is showing for us as a collective, this is a good week to reset. It's a new moon, so there's new energy, new activity coming in, but we're still kind of in a reset mode. And you're doing the meditation and asking spirit for guidance, so you would understand what your place is as we come into this. We'll call it a silent revolution. It may become more of an active revolution as time goes on, but in the silent revolution that's happening on the planet right now, the idea is to understand and learning what your place is in that. Um, I mean, other than that, the cards look fairly quiet to me. So I have a feeling like what's going on in New York State, it may not pass. Like I said, I think it may be like by one vote or something like that. Um, and then the two pentacles about choices, that could also be showing a little bit of a hit on the financial markets, because pentacles can represent money. um, Choices about investments or pulling out of things. Kind of that kind of a thing. And I just want to see if any other messages are jumping out at me. Um, it just kind of feels like a holding pattern to me. So we may get some news about some travel restrictions, restrictions of gatherings. I mean, do we really need to be psychic to figure that out, though, right? But um, All right. But this doesn't look bad. It just looks very stagnant. But this Queen of Cups in the middle, again, that can be very aloof. So, the fact that I was drawn to the Magician card and the Page of Swords came up, you know, to me, a lot of aloofness. You get the facts. Be clear. I feel like that's part of the message. That there's a lot of ambiguity, and the messages keep changing. Every day. Um, but I think they're showing like moving. Doing some steps to move in the direction for more vaccination mandates and stuff like that, and it's creating a lot of clashes. So, and there's a lot of contradictions in the whole agenda and the whole thing. There's a lot of holes in it. So you be aware. You're not in fear. You're not like what's the right word? Just being argumentative just for the sake that you don't want to be controlled, because that's taking it to the other side of the spectrum. Just be in the heart, be in your power. It's synonymous. When you're in your heart, you're in your truth, you're in your power, and you're basically invincible. And yeah, your body may take hits. You may go through mental ups and downs. It may be a difficult path, but the heart is the truth. It will always win out in the end. The more people that do that, the more we're going to move through this time, and the more the smoother and the more quickly the awakening is going to happen. So let's move on to I'm going to pull one of my Native American cards also. Yeah, that's a good point, Laura, and thank you. I'm trying to catch your comments as I'm going along, so having glasses on definitely helps with that. Um, Roles change, yeah, exactly, yeah, that's true. We're not bound to one or the other. It can be interchangeable. That's a really good point, Laura. Thank you. All right, so they're taking me in this direction. This is the one. This is pregnancy. Who's getting pregnant? um, Not me. And let me see. That would be the Four of Cups. Kind of like hanging out on a tree, right? Or kind of looks that way, or by a tree. Your tree, and the tree has a lot of like branches that are coming out. I have this meditation. It's on YouTube also that I did, a while back, called the Spirit Tree, where when you meditate, you build your roots, you feel your trunk, but then you feel your branches, and then you start to send your branches higher and higher, and each level higher, like each branch, you connect with some aspect of higher consciousness, whether it's your spirit guide, your deceased loved ones, or your angels, and stuff like that. Um, so let me just see if this is telling me anything more specifically. Let's be grounded, be rooted. Pregnancy, what's that? That's like, new ideas, gestating new ideas, new beginnings. I feel like it's Spirit's way of saying that there, like I said, there's a silent revolution that's happening. Um, there's a new birth that's coming, but it's not really known yet. So we're still in the pregnancy of this new awakening, this new beginning. Um, One of my predictions from Thursday was that the awakening is going to double in 2022, which would make sense. There's a lot of twos, right? So 2021, probably from what I've seen, had the highest rate of people awakening. And when I say awakening, to me, it's about the understanding of energy and the understanding of truth. Like when I had my awakening, it was in 1978, and I was a college student and just wasn't really into any of this stuff then. But when it happened, it was like a flash, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh my God, everything I thought was true is a lie. Like everything I held value in is not real. It's all an illusion." So that was my personal awakening experience. And then it wasn't easy because not a lot of people understood this back in 1978, but but I had been studying martial arts for a few months. I think that started to precipitate it. And rather than being being you know, studying martial arts in college because I was a small kid with a big mouth that needed to defend himself a little bit better. It started to become a much more of a spiritual quest for me, and I got into yoga and meditation through that. So to me, an awakening is not just really understanding more of the political agendas of the world. It's really about understanding spirit and really making that shift from the illusion of the physicality in the flesh to understanding energy and spirit and what that really is, not intellectually, but just knowing it and understanding it. So I don't know if I'm explaining that as well as I could, but I think you guys get the idea. So that's what I get for that card. Let's see what the animals have to say about things. Thinking of a song by Talking Heads called Animals. Um, this is kind of a funny song, but anyways, it's fun. Wow, we got the gorilla. Ooh. um, Take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. Now, anybody's had the opportunity to watch gorillas. They're very affectionate, very family oriented, very loving beings. And when I saw this, I got really psyched because to me that's very heart chakra also. Um, and it's so take the time to listen compassionately. I think that's an important message because it's just kind of like we're so programmed or whatever to just kind of go into these reactionary modes, these snap judgments. And again, either you're consciously programming yourself because the subconscious mind works on programs. That's just how our minds work. Yeah, that's how we learn how to ride a bicycle. It becomes a subconscious program. That's also how we learn how to have prejudices, how to have fears that are separate from our survival. Um, how we learn how to hate, all of that. These are all programs. And when I started to deprogram and started to learn how to be the observer rather than the participant in my reactions to the environment, I had to face some ugly truths that I like, oh my God, I didn't even know that I was this prejudiced and that I was this petty and this, that, and the other thing. And, that's part of it, so, again, these are all messages of the heart. The word compassionately comes up. Compassion is part of heart coherence. So that's been the message through and through all these cards and all everything that I've been saying this morning. So, yes. Very good, Derek. Yeah, that's awakening. Yeah, you start to feel energy. When I had my awakening, and of course, this is 1978 in Oneonta, New York. Um, the nickname for my college was Stonianta. I can't imagine why, but but what was happening after that is every now and then I thought I was experiencing earthquakes. Like I'd feel rumbling at the base of my spine and my body, and I'd look around and I'd be like, "Did you feel that? Was there just an earthquake?" And my friends would look at me and say, "What have you been smoking, Adam? Because we want that. Whatever you're smoking, give us some." But but that's it. Energy, yeah. And all right. So there's also a family energy here, to families are being torn apart. I'm hearing stories every day. I was almost heartbroken yesterday in one of my readings where somebody you couldn't be around their family because she, for her own personal reasons, chose not to get the vaccine, and the other family members criticized that and would not let her around them, around the family and their children and everything like that. You know, again, this is fear programming. I don't want to again, I'm not trying to underscore or underplay the importance of safety, obviously, but point being is that we really, honor our families, and even if there's differences of opinions, really try to find that core of the heart and that core of love. I mean, if somebody's really, that leery about being around unvaccinated people, don't shut the person out. Zoom with them or Skype with them. If you feel like you need to stay safe and your family's all vaccinated, and the thing is that it's it can be spread, whether you have a vaccine or not. More and more of that is coming out. But again, I don't want to go into controversy this morning, um, but I do believe the vaccines work to some degree. So I'll put that out there. But anyway, the point being is that work together. If you have different viewpoints, honor the other person's opinion. It's like, I'm not gonna, I choose not to get vaccinated. I'm not gonna call the next person like being programmed or a lemming because their idea of safety is to get vaccinated. I mean, I understand why people would do that. I mean, it's logical, it makes sense to me. Um, I personally, I just believe that there's other ways of handling things, and that we should have choices. Again, not against vaccines. I'm against control, and as long as people are respecting one another and respecting other people's safety, then I don't think there should be a problem with people's individual choices. But of course, people are not always that smart, and some people are not respecting other people's safety. So I get that part of it also. But anyway, gorillas are very family oriented. So I feel like this is spirit saying, really, if there's differences in your family, to the best of your ability, really try to resolve them. You don't have to agree with them, but they're your family, basically. So anyway, uh, um, what else? Oh, I have a different angel deck I'm doing today. I think I did this one other time, which is what are these cards called? I don't have the angel therapy cards. It's another one of Doreen Virtue's many angel decks where we can get our angel message and close up shop for the morning. So again, at 4 o'clock Eastern time on Zoom, it's free. I'll be doing a transmission to bring in Archangel Raphael for healing, and Heather Istara, who's been on the channel before, will do a meditation to help build our virus shields. So again, viruses are opportunistic. If you keep your shield strong, you keep your immune system up, you reduce your odds of catching it, and if you do catch it, you reduce your odds of getting a serious illness. I mean, viruses are opportunistic. We can't be completely on 100% of the time. You may have a day or two where you're a bit run down and catch a virus. It happens, but understand that they're opportunistic. It's not the viruses that make us ill. They're opportunistic. It's what's up here, primarily, and how that affects our immune systems. And it's all connected to the heart. It's all connected to the mind. So anyway, this one. Integrity. Well, integrity is always a good thing. So here's what the card looks like. That's integrity, according to Doreen Virtue. That's the face of integrity. And mm, um, align your actions so that they match your values and inner knowingness of what's right for you. So I was kind of talking about that again. Part of empowerment, part of being in the heart, is being able to separate yourself from what how others want to control you and manipulate you, and and it's really starting to recognize your own values and acting in your own values. Again, respect and honor the other person. I have my opinions. I have my beliefs. I may be wrong with some of them because I'm not God. I don't know everything. So the idea is we we want our actions, our words, and our actions to be aligned with our integrity, which means align with our truths, and um, and with all the fear programming, it's very easy to get out of integrity. But it's easy to get out of integrity with ourselves and with our own values, um, and to kind of get caught up in other people's values and everything. So, in this time, this is 2022. A universal 6 year of Venus of the heart and everything. It's really time to really be in the heart and really honor our own values and really understand, like, have compassion. People don't agree with you and they've been, misinformed or programmed by society. That's a terrible place to be. Don't hate that person or shun that person. Have compassion for them, and cut them a little bit of slack. And you don't have to agree with them. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to let them affect you. And I think that's the message to really start 2022 with. So we went a little bit long today. So thank you everybody for sticking with me. And so so tomorrow at 7, Sharita Star is going to do her astrological, numerological predictions for 2022 here on the Medium channel. And like I said early on, my psychic predictions from my guide, including a channel message, is already up on the channel, on the Medium channel. I did that Thursday night, so that's 2022 psychic predictions. So yes, Jai Ma, Satnam. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Happy new moon, and we shall see you next time.